thank you so much for coming out today and joining us to our first of many entrepreneur chats. And I can't be able to tell you how it led to this without telling you the journey of Centonomy. But something interesting happened yesterday. Someone called me and said, "Are you still having those entrepreneurs? Are you still going to have the event?" I was like, "Yes." "But Chase Bank fell." I was like, "Okay, yes." And first of all, personally, I am devastated. Yeah, not because first of all, it's a bank that has helped me, and it's a bank that has been a business partner. But the thing is, it's also about the humanness to the whole event. These are humans that have been affected. But I guess that's what we have to think differently. We can't all go down into a victim mentality and say our life has collapsed because things are not going right in everywhere. Yes, we know there are challenges, but I think it's in those challenges that our entrepreneurial spirit, more than anything, has to step up. So, why are we here? And how did this journey start? This topic we chose today is a topic I think many people, how many people are this related to them? They've been thinking about it, but they're wondering, does it happen? How do you transition? How do I move from How many people? Yeah, like 90% of the room. How many people in some way, whether it's a side hustle or it's already in business, you've already started business? Yeah, okay. And so how many people are on the fence? They're here just to see what comes out of it. That's okay as well, but then it starts with being on the fence, yeah? So, whenever people ask me how, first of all, I never saw Centonomy as it is today. And I think one thing I've learned is things unfold when you are in the bus. So if there's one thing advice I was to start giving you, it's enter the bus. So many times we get stuck, especially when we're thinking goals. Every year, did you set goals the beginning of the year? And how far are you with those goals? Yeah. And goals are good, because without vision, the momentum is not going to be there sustainably, yeah? But is there a point when the goal is so big in your head, you're just overwhelmed? You just don't want to start, yeah? But sometimes I think it's just about saying, if my destination is Mombasa, yes, I know there's a destination, but how do I get to Mombasa? I enter the bus. And for me, this journey has just been about entering the bus at different stages. Because when you're in the bus, that is when things unfold. And I think by coming here today, you have actually entered the bus. So, why did I start? Why did I decide to go into business? Yeah? There was no burning bush moment for me. People think, was there a burning bush? Did you have a dream? No. But have you ever sometimes felt that something is wrong? That you can't explain it, and even when you try and explain it to other people, they don't get it, and then the problem comes because you're trying to explain something that you're feeling, and then someone else is trying to look at it from a logical perspective, yeah? And some people could be, I'm already a manager, I'm already earning a good income, then you're trying to talk to people and say, you're telling them, I think I want to go into business, and they're like, but why? You're earning good income. That happens, doesn't it? You're already earning a good salary, you have a good position, you work for a good organization, so you've ticked all the boxes. And that was me. I'd worked in the investment industry for a while, and I was one of those people, for some reason, I just kept jumping from job to job, yeah? And I would always find a reason to blame the boss or the company. This company is not doing X, Y, Z. My boss is X, Y, Z. Then you move to another organization and you're like, kwani all bosses have this X, Y, Z thing that is bothering me, yeah? But after a while you start to understand it's not them, it is you, and it is you who've got to figure out what is this thing that is disturbing you. So why did I go into business? Because something disturbed me. And it disturbed me so much that I was like, to find out, to be able to scratch this itch, I've got to figure out, I've got to go and figure out, try and do something for myself, yeah? So, this was 2007, I was working at CFC Stanbic, ticking all the boxes, good salary, tick, good title, tick, yeah, but something disturbed me and I left. So how did I start? I started by a side hustle. Yeah, so I started by, the last time I was doing stocks. Then my last job I was involved in the stock exchange quite a bit, advising clients on the stock exchange, yeah. So I decided that's going to be my business. So lesson number one, you don't have to have the perfect, you don't have to have an Uber moment. Yeah, your idea does not necessarily have to be as great as Uber or Facebook or M-Pesa to be able to start a business. What do you know and what have you observed around you? So I took what I knew, and all I simply observed is that clients in our, even in the stockbroking industry, they wanted a more personalized service that big organizations unfortunately were not able to provide. So I said, there is idea number one. So no burning bush, just observation. So observation opens up a lot of ideas. So I took that and I said, my business is going to be, any guesses? Stockbroking. Hoo-ha! There we go. So I started a small company. It was called CCS Financial Solutions. In my wisdom, I was trying to not make it too far from CFC, so people can still relate to CFC, yeah? But I just started helping, advising people on the stock market. As I did that, and I started understanding, so now that's how I got into the bus. So I would go to work and then have my side business advising people on the stock market. So in a matter of time, and this is not about waiting till the business is profitable, but after a while I realized, I had one or two clients, but I realized my time now was better spent doing the stock market. It was not profitable by any means, but I had gotten to the point where I now knew if I spent more time on it, it had a chance of growing. So experimenting is okay, yeah? So experiment. Even while you're still at work, experiment and learn. And you don't learn by writing a business plan. Yeah, your business plan is great, yeah, but like everyone will tell you, their first business plan, those in business, did you write a business plan? Yeah, okay, exactly. Me, I did, but it never works. Your business plan never works. So just understand that. But now I started, because this was about a personalized approach. So as you're giving personal attention to clients, you start observing the next stage in the bus. First of all, I was going through my own financial challenges, and it was also an aha moment of, gosh, I wasted so much money when I had a salary. So I was dealing with that. But when I was dealing with that, since I had more time to talk to clients, they started telling me about, this was not about the stock market, but now people are starting to tell you, this is the amount of debt I have, but how do you save? Then they ask me, how do I save? I figure it out, so by the time they come back next time, I have an answer for them of how they saved, even if it's via Google, even if the answer was via Google, or I've talked to someone. So I started becoming curious, not just about the investment side, but about the other factors. So lesson number 2 there for me was also always listen to your current customer. Yeah, listen to what they are saying, because it's in what they are saying that they are giving you so much information. Then, as I did that, now the stock market went through its ups and downs as well, and I'll tell you a bit more about the lessons as we get to the end. But there's a time I was asked to go speak to people, and they told me, don't come and talk to us about the stock exchange, just talk about, it was very informal, it was in somebody's sitting room, just come and talk to us about money in general. I didn't prepare for it, but the conversation went so well that after that is when I got the aha moment. So that was my first burning bush, yeah? I actually don't want to manage people's money for them, I want to actually teach people about money. And what I learned from that experience, and I think everyone who's in that mode, the confidence and the faith you can have in this is that when you decide to enter the bus and come through with some sort of action, no matter how small, it's like the universe starts conspiring to bring circumstances, resources, or people your way that will continue opening up your eyes to as why this can be done. But I think we've just got to start with that faith and just say, let me take the first step and open your eyes. It's like the universe just starts conspiring. So that day was my aha moment. I actually want to teach people about money. And since the stock market was also going down at the same time, it was had a low moment, I figured there's no time as the present to actually do this. So we just started on a very small scale, and that's when it actually became Centonomy. So that was 2009. So in 2009, we're like, okay, now we want to teach people about money. How does this happen? Then you remember you have a friend who works in Standard Chartered, and she's in marketing. And they have a product at that time called Standard Chartered Diva. Yeah. So you put 2 and 2 together and say, see, as part of the offering to your Diva customers, I know you people, you do workshops. Can we come and do something on personal finance? Again, as I said, the universe conspires, they caught on to it. So we were given a contract for a year. So once a month, we started running programs for Standard Chartered Diva, just teaching people on personal finance. And I must say that group of women we went through that first year, I owe them a big debt. They were our guinea pigs for everything, yeah? So we created content, we tested it on them, and it worked, yeah? They had aha moments, people started changing their money, and I think for us what it helped, it started generating the conversation about money. Because money has always been this thing that people hold very close to them, and nobody wants to actually talk about them. But life throws you, a lot of things. The second year you're going there, so we're like, gosh, we got off to a good start. Second year you're going, the MD has been changed. The new MD is like, what is this? Shut it. And that's the same time you had even proposed an increase in your rate, yeah? So I had to start again from scratch. Now, when we were doing the Standard Chartered Diva, what brand were we using? Standard Chartered Diva. So it was time to now approach those same people and say, we are running Centonomy workshops. What do you think the problem I faced was? Who's Centonomy? So another lesson for you as you start your business, start using your brand and make it pronounced in everything that you do. You may even partner with big organizations with certain things, but make sure people know you for your brand. People didn't know me for my brand at that time. So again, we started running the workshops. Now from getting 30, 40 people coming for a workshop for the day, we are getting 3 to 7. Yeah. But we continued, and we decided every month we're going to start running the workshop. If one person shows up, just like today, we have a good number today, but we were like, in the team, we had decided if 2 people show up, the show will go on. And that's what I learned in life. The show will go on because consistency is rewarded. And it's almost like God wants to test. How committed are you? Are you only committed when big numbers show up? Are you only committed when money shows up? Yeah? So I started learning, it's not about the money, it's not about what. People are going to show up. If 2 of them show up, we're going to run this workshop and we're going to make sure that those 2 people leave here empowered. So it's also committing to give your service so well and not worry about how do I get 100 people or how do I get another 300 or how does this make a profit. In the beginning, no. Just commit first to offering an excellent service. So we continued doing that, and as we're doing that, we also started doing one-on-one financial planning. Again, the bus opens more doors. Yeah. As we're doing that, and we're also now doing work with corporates, we're starting to pitch to corporates about how to empower the staff, the employees about personal financial management. So we're getting a bit of work here and there, but very erratic, yeah? But as you're doing individual financial planning, you're going deeper and understanding this language of money, by the way, one day is not enough, yeah? And then you go for a program. I've gone for a program called Alabastron. Maybe some of you have also gone for it, yeah? And then, apart from what I learned there, it's a life coaching program for women. I saw the model. I saw how the impact it was having on me, coming to class once a week, going and reflecting, doing homework, coming back. So I was like, this would be far more impactful if we were able to get people to come, they're taught a certain subject once a week, and that's how all our programs run. And then they go do some homework, come back, discussion, etc. It's not even just about the content, it's about the networking, it's about talking to people who are in the same frame of mind, it's about relationships that are formed. It was also enabled us to put experts in front of them for certain areas. So we changed it and it became a course. So whilst we still do the training for organizations, our key focus became the individual and transformation in the life of the individual. So we started running it as a course. Again, this is simply because of listening to the customer and what they're saying. Again, the door opens. People start saying, I wish I knew this younger and younger. So as an entrepreneur, that's an opportunity. You start thinking, if you came here and you wish you knew this younger and younger, doesn't it also mean there are younger people who want to know this at their level? Yeah. So we went, let's go and do university, and now even next week we have a course running for teenagers on money. So if you have a teenager, they can learn about money. Again, you start looking at what experiences have I gone through as running a business, what has happened, what are my clients saying, and people are like, one of the ways we want to create wealth is through entrepreneurship. So we now started the Centonomy Entrepreneur Program. We understand not everyone wants to start a business, so we also have another program called Career Hub, which is about people thriving in their career. We think wealth can be created anyway. Yeah, so it's about people having an entrepreneurial spirit even in their careers. They're called entrepreneurs. Yeah, so we started a program for that. So what is the common link between everything Centonomy does? And this discovery has come through the journey, through being in the bus. Yeah, it has been everything we do. We started with money, and a couple of years ago I would have defined myself as a personal finance training organization. Yeah, but as we go and we've seen the impact some of these courses has had, we are now understanding that, you know what I asked you before, do you sometimes feel you're living dead? Yeah, you're existing. Yeah, you're just going Monday. Who starts fretting on Sunday? On Sunday morning about Monday. And I know there's a job I had where I realized it's a problem because surely, is it normal for someone to spend half their weekend dreading Monday? Or trying to figure out what excuse you have not used about why you can't go to work? Which illness have I not come up with? Yeah, I can't go to work. And I think a lot of the times we live like this and think it's normal. And we go to organizations and we can tell. You can just tell as you enter. People here are living dead. They are alive, as in they are breathing, but they are dead. And if you have a seed that has been planted in you and you don't water it, what is going to happen to that seed? It is going to die. It's going to be there, but it's going to be withered. And sometimes we start, and if that seed is not nurtured, it doesn't grow. It doesn't matter what you do. You can buy yourself things. We buy ourselves things to cover that void, don't we? Then after 2 days, something. We get a temporary high from temporary recognition, whatever. But you know, there's a reason why you came here today, because something is disturbing, right? Something is disturbing you. And that's what this has been about, Centonomy. How can we help people as we challenge ourselves to live like that? We call it abundance, yeah? How can we get people to live abundantly? Not living dead, live abundantly. And everything we do in Centonomy has been about that. It is about connecting to yourself, connecting to your strengths, connecting to your gifts. Yeah, you're doing the world a disservice if that seed goes to the grave. You're doing the world a disservice, yeah, and yourself, so that people can bring the best of who they are in whatever they are doing. Yeah, it could be your career, but today we are specifically talking about that, bringing that out in the context of entrepreneurship and the transition. So that's what Centonomy is about, teaching people to create wealth and live abundantly, and that is why part of our courses, and something that is very dear to us and to me, is the topic of entrepreneurship. So these chats are supposed to be about the real stories. We hear, we watch TV programs, right? where they are featuring entrepreneurs. What do we think about some of the things we see on media, about what they say about entrepreneurs, the story they give? It's hard, yeah. It's, they give the good, yeah? It's all good. And I was talking to Leonard when we were talking about today's, and one of the things he was saying is, it's so sad that people have stories, but people don't want to share the truth about the story. Because we are not here to tell you that it is easy, yeah? It is challenging. It has its rewards, yes, but it has its challenges. And so today is about hearing the real stories about it, and that's what we're going to continue doing. We're going to start talking about how do people do it honestly, how do people market honestly, how do people deal with this money issue honestly, how this transition, what is this mindset about, yeah? So I'll come back later and give you a few more snippets from my